Harvick brings his Ford Mustang into the party now late in the going. 8 laps to go at Talladega. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Here comes the outside lane. A full head of steam with Kurt Busch and David Reagan.
Busch on the comeback trail. He powers to the outside lane. Drafting help from David Reagan. Drafting help from Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. Around the outside. Kurt Busch back to the lead at Talladega.
Ford and Chevy side by side for the lead. Here comes lane 3 kicking in, and it's led by Brendan Guaghan. Now Kyle Busch will jump up in front of him. 3 wide, looking for the lead in 3.
Kyle Busch leads that charge on the high side, flirting with the wall, trying to get up alongside Kurt Busch, and he does it. They're still 3 wide all the way through turns 3 and 4. Stenhouse, Busch, and his brother Kyle.
7 to go here at Talladega. 3 wide for the race lead, but here comes Kyle Busch all the way topside. Drafting help from Brendan Guaghan. Guaghan goes to second. Kyle Busch goes to the lead.
Busch to the point. He's out by about 2 car lengths right now. They continue 3 wide behind him. Stenhouse on the bottom. Kurt Busch in the middle. Brendan Guaghan up high. Guaghan begins to fade. He drops out of the top 5 for the moment.
Kyle Busch now goes all the way at the banking, throwing the block on Kurt. Now Kyle comes back to the middle. Here comes the lane down low. Stenhouse will wedge his way in. Contact. Kyle Busch is into Keselowski. Brendan Guaghan up and over. Back on all 4 wheels. Matt DiBenedetto gets it. About a dozen cars crashing and colliding with Brendan Guaghan. Flipping over, landing on all 4, and sliding to the bottom of the racetrack in 3.
7 laps to go at the Talladega Super Speedway. The Money Lion caution is on the speedway for the 9th time. Back out to the backstretch and Mike Bagley.
It all started when Kyle Busch got turned around and he made hard contact and went up the racetrack and collected Brad Keselowski. He collected a number of other drivers as well, including Brendan Guaghan, who got clipped and did a flip in midair as he went off the end of the back straightaway. That car went totally over and landed on all 4 wheels, but the carnage doesn't stop there. At least 10, maybe even a dozen drivers affected in this huge crash at the end of the back straightaway.
Well, get your calculator out because it's going to take one to figure out who all has been involved here. Kyle Busch is on pit road, so is Ryan Preece, so is Chris Buescher, so is Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski. Looking all the way down at the entrance, is that well, that's the guy that we talked about that had this race with such a strong car in Ricky Stenhouse Jr. coming across the line. By the way, and we have to bring this up, Michael McDowell is being shown as the race leader here this afternoon. How big is that?
That is massive for Michael McDowell. It's even bigger for Ryan Blaney. He's being shown in the 2nd spot. He needs a win to advance to the next round in the playoffs. Eric Almirola will be scored 3rd. Daniel Hemrick being scored 4th. Austin Dillon being scored 5th. Of course, they're going to, looks like, stop these race cars over there on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch for the cleanup that's going to continue to take place out there at the feet of Mike Bagley.
You gave the top 5, McDowell, Blaney, Eric Almirola. Let's add Daniel Hemrick, who is 4th, then Austin Dillon. The rest of the top 10 right now include Parker Kligerman, 6th, Ty Dillon, 7th, Ryan Newman, 8th, Chase Elliott just will not go away. He's 9th. Corey LaJoie completes the top 10.
It is amazing, and we continue to sit under the Money Lion caution here for the 9th time. Here at the Talladega Super Speedway, we currently sit under the red flag. The cars are stopped over on the Alabama Gang Super Stretch for the cleanup over there at the feet of Mike Bagley. And Mike, what's the latest out there?
Well, Alex, there is a lot of debris that has been put down onto the racetrack. The good news is a lot of it slid to the apron. Right now, safety crews, there are 3 trucks worth that are working at the end of the backstretch into turn number 3, and they're just taking parts and pieces and throwing them in the back of those safety trucks. They are out actually on foot with buckets picking debris up as well, and they're walking basically from 3 into 4, just picking up pieces of debris before the jet blowers, which are now stationed to my right, which will come through and finish off the job. I'm sure there'll be a little speedy dry applied. I'm surprised that there's not more debris considering all the cars and the calamity and the contact we had just a handful of moments ago.
They were racing 3 wide. Stenhouse kind of moved up just a little bit. I don't know that I would pin that on Ricky. And then Kyle moved up and caught Brendan. That sent him upside down, and it was on from there. But a 3 wide virtual drag race down the super stretch. And it happened at the very front of the field. And it's unfortunate for all involved, but we also talked about, drivers that were having a career day, or certainly could equal one. David Reagan, he's done, ran up front when it mattered the most towards the end. Obviously, Brendan Gaughan, the Las Vegas native, running at the front of the field, and he's done. And Matt DiBenedetto, who 49 laps led in the Daytona 500. He was up front here at the end. That isn't going to matter either. And then when you take a look up and down pit road, some of the biggest names in our sport, Alex Hayden, and by the way, every playoff driver has had at least one issue so far today.
Yeah, and going back to yesterday, because Ryan Blaney, a playoff driver, spun coming to pit road under green flag pit stop conditions. He's been able to rebound, and now he finds himself under this red flag, sitting in position number 2. So sometimes it's better just to hang on there. One of those drivers that's been hanging on is Daniel Hemrick. Steve Post has more.
Yeah, he's hanging on, but he's got some damage on that race car. When the caution comes out, they're going to work on the right front fender of that race car and the right front of that race car. So while it looks good on the scoring pylon, they have damage. They do feel, though, by surviving, they can still come out of here with a good, solid finish. That's Daniel Hemrick's story.
All right, thank you, Posty. Here are the cars once again involved in this one. Most recent here on lap 181. We are under the red flag. Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Daniel Hemrick, Ricky Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher Ryan Preece and Chris Buescher, David Reagan, Brendan Gaughan, and Matt DiBenedetto. So a number of cars, again, have been collected. Playoff drivers in the top 10, only 2 now. Ryan Blaney, 2, and Chase Elliott is the other. You talk about a day. Chase Elliott, can you imagine if you're just communicating with Chase? He'd be like, okay, what position are we running in right now? You're second. All right, what about now? You're 32nd and a lap down. Back and forth, up and down the leaderboard. That is a team that refuses to give up.
You absolutely cannot give up. That's just part of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing at any race during the season, let alone in the playoffs. And Chase Elliott, that team led by Alan Gustafson and the rest of that team, they're doing a fantastic job of doing exactly what they need to do.
All right, here's a quick look at the top 10 under the red flag. Michael McDowell, race leader, then Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, Daniel Hemrick, and Austin Dillon. That's your top 5. Then it's Parker Kligerman, Ty Dillon, Ryan Newman, Chase Elliott, and Corey LaJoie. That is your top 10 with 6 to go.
6 laps to go here at Talladega. This is our second red flag of the event. The first came with the rain that approached yesterday and delayed us by about, 24 hours or so. Michael McDowell continues to show the way here at Talladega underneath this red flag. Blaney again is second, and Eric Almirola being shown in position number 3 here at the Talladega Super Speedway.